a first video using the mic. I'm gonna have to do it like this because I don't got a tripod, so I can't show cutting it open. I can't do it with one hand, but so the main thing I have to do now is sew the tags on, and then they should be good. Try to pull it out. This is a shirt too that I eventually will be like the second bulk order shirt, but so far, so this is a sample piece. This isn't part of the bulk, but this is a hoodie with regular print, and then let's see if I can. I'm excited. This is actually gonna be the first sellable bulk order. The first bulk order I ever got, I found out through a few washer and dryers that the quality wasn't there, but the quality is here on these. So I felt confident on getting the bulk order in these. So I'm pretty sure I got 10 in total. Let's see. I'm gonna get them laid out then do it so it's not so long. Okay, so this is the layout of my first sellable quality bulk order on the tees. So it's the OG logo. I got the same, just big one on the back. So I got one extra small, two small. I'm pretty sure like 6 medium. Yeah, 6 medium, 1 large. So I got more medium because this tends to be, I think, the perfect size for that 90% of people. So, cool. It turned out really good. Definitely my favorite. I'm about to take the cat on a walk, so I'm gonna do this while I'm doing that. Try to BRB. Came outside and walk her a little bit. Give her some outside time. But every time like I watch some videos or I reflect on the growth of the brand, it really like just inspires me and like refuels me on the purpose and just that belief in my like. I don't know, another thing with these videos, it's hard because now I'll say something, but 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 years from now I might not agree with it, or I might wish I would have said it differently. But just knowing that's literally part of it, and trying to have that part be a reason that I don't put these videos out here is just defeating the whole purpose of everything. So just continuing to keep making these videos and leaving them, not deleting them once I put them out there, because inevitably like progress will happen. And I think it's easier now because I'm not getting any feedback, that maybe if I was, it'd be easier not to, I don't want to say question myself or any of this, but I don't know. I think I'm just keeping my mindset focused on one day everybody being able to look back at these videos and be more inspired and just, you know, see that it was like this from the start. I could have worded that better, but I know well, okay, so when I do these videos for myself, I say a lot of like, well, I know what I mean. So when I watch these back, like, I don't gotta explain myself, but it's different when I'm thinking about putting these videos actually out there. I don't know, I think right now I just got the first bulk order, so I just picked up the sewing machine yesterday, so I'm gonna sew those this week, today or tomorrow, and then I'll actually have inventory ready to sell. Not a lot, but at the same time, more than I've ever had, and was actually able to sell it. You know what I mean? Like the quality is there. So I'm excited. And then I think one of the hardest parts for me right now is not having a large like friend group to be able to um, have models and stuff. Her name is Mavi. So needless to say, she's my little sidekick. She's doing really good though, but I might have to make some kitten t-shirts too. She's, but yeah, the thing that got me to, every time I pull the camera out, it's because I got this feel of inspiration of belief, and that's what gets me to continue making these, and just continuing having that mindset of nobody's seeing them now, so nobody's being able to fuel it back into me of one day I hope someone says like, oh shit, like watching you make these videos like really helped me, or something along the lines of that. Like I know that might sound cliche or whatnot, but like truly like that is a fueling reason and passion and thing backing my belief and momentum that keeps me going, keeps me fueled, because I truly believe that one day someone will say that, like at least one person will say like, yeah, that was the shit, you made me feel less lonely in the world, or you made me feel less lonely within what I was trying to build. Even if it's not a clothing brand, I want people to be able to look at my shit and be inspired to feel whatever the fuck they're going for, you know? Sorry, I'm cussing. I'm gonna get better at not cussing, but right now I just want to get it out there, you know? Like I don't want to hold back anything that's fueling, anything that's gonna radiate that belief. um, because I just feel like if I get that belief out there, you know, that's what's gonna really bind the connections between the brand and people. Uh, but yeah, so I took a few days off. This is the first time ever since my first job that I've intentionally took, you know, a few days off. I've been big on like I worked on my birthdays and everything. So needless to say, like this brand just really means a lot, and I really want to get it to the point where I'm actually selling products. You know what I mean? Like that's not the core component for sure. Like the core component is everything that it is and everything it's inspiring to be, and transcends beyond just material. But the material is definitely a part of it. Like I envision seeing a bunch of people wearing my brand and supporting it and helping give advice and wisdom, you know, like watching those interviews of like when Nipsey was saying how like he got advice from other people on how to actually release his music, you know, mixtape and album and whatnot, and like I hope that one day, I hope, trust, believe that one day I'll be able to connect with people like that who will give me advice in the clothing brand space, but also just like in the entrepreneurship space and in the living space and in the being a human space and growth space and every space, you know, like, um, yeah. So, and I don't want a big thing that is helping me drive this forward is that whole like Rick Rubin mentality of like make it for yourself. You know, that was what really helps me. And so selfishly I do that, but in such an unselfish way of knowing that I have to do that the selfish way to be unselfish. You know what I mean? Otherwise I'm not going to put it out there. Or otherwise I won't put it out there as authentically as I can and will and do and want, you know what I mean? Because then if I don't do it just for myself, then I'll try to do it to fit the needs or expectations or, you know, ideal customer or supporter or person or personality instead of my own that they'll inevitably connect to. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm excited. I don't want to stop. Um, and just saying too, like I have those moments of, as much as like my belief is foolproof and it's fully in there, like I still have those human moments of self-doubt or doubt or um, what's that impersonator, like uh, I can't think of the name right now, but you don't know what I mean if I'm not the one watching this back. Like self-impersonator, that imposter syndrome, that's what it is. Not that but I think I get moments or glimpses of that, because running a clothing brand has become like this generation's mainstream thing, and just something that this generation has really, really appreciated, because I think we're taking up style in ways that have, and we're adapting and amplifying the ways that have, and the ways that this culture and generation is continuing to do so. The way that you see style evolve is such a generational thing. She is climbing up my back. She is up my back. She has not done that while we've sat out here. Um, but yeah, and that's another thing that helps me not worry about how long these videos are, because then I stop thinking, oh well, if it runs 20 minutes, who's gonna watch this 20-minute video? Like I'm putting this out there for me first, but with the intention of someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like, and many, like one of the goals I'd written down the other day is, 150,000 followers on both Instagram pages, or maybe all three or whatever. So that's a big goal, but like taking trying to like setting the big goal and then taking the small goals from it. So instead of, girl, she is on my head. Girl. Um, like taking that million followers down to, okay, 150, and still feeling that same amount. You know what I'm saying? Um, so yeah, I don't want to drag this video on too long though, because I want to have other clips and stuff, but I want to keep continuously pushing myself to put myself in front of the camera and talk, because there's so many times where I am having that self-dialogue with myself that would be perfect to put out here, but the more I just continuously practice being public with it, the more it'll be public with it, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, on every video, the goal is to just further continue this extension of myself through the brand, through everything, these videos, the content, just further extend myself out and onto the world, because it'd be selfish not to, and selfish in a bad way not to, you know what I'm saying? So and I'm excited, because the other thing is, as much as I have those things of like, well damn, everyone's doing this, everyone can be doing it, but everyone's also breathing, like everyone's also wearing clothes, like everyone's also going to a job, you know what I mean? So it's like, it sounds cliche, but I'm gonna say, like, there's only one of you know what I'm saying? So there's no shortage of, oh well, there can only be so many clothing brand owners, founders in this generation. Like, that's not true. Like, there can be so many. There's no, because there's also there's no competition in my eyes, because I see, like, yes, there's healthy competition, woo-de-woo, but it's all collaboration. It's not really competition in that sense, because if your streetwear clothing brand grows, that just helps me, because now more people are paying attention to the streetwear clothing brand environment. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with, you see gas stations and car dealerships. It's like it's all psychologically put out there in a way of where now you're not looking at two dealerships, two gas stations. It's the difference between, all right, I'm going to get this out, but it's going to make sense. two car dealerships together, now you're thinking, which one do I want to go to? Let me go to both and see which one's better. Instead of if there was just one, you would just be debating if you want to go there or not which one you want to go to. You know what I'm saying? So it like I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna try to extend that further, because I don't want to misconstrue or like just over talk about that. I feel like just trying to get everything as simplified as possible so it's easily digestible and easier to process. Um, but also like trying to practice. Another thing I like about these videos is because they help me practice the knowledge that I intake. You know what I mean? Like all the books, all the videos, like a lot of what you hear me say is a redigestion of things that I've digested or am digesting. You know what I mean? So it's like it's helping me practice, teach what I've been taught. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, that's still like that trying to teach it also teaches me. So it's just this iron sharpens iron continuously. The more I just try to extend myself through these things, whether the content, the networking, the socializing, the everything, and I'm super thankful we live in a time and generation where people are as loving and accepting as they are, and where we really are in this era of supporting entrepreneurship, supporting each other, supporting the community, supporting who backs the things that they're making. You know what I mean? Like we live in such a time where we don't just care that it's a great product that's cool, but we'll take a shittier product with a greater founder than a greater product with a shittier founder. You know what I'm saying? I'm so thankful for that. You know what I mean? And trusting, believing, and knowing that authenticity, the truth, and just that goodness will always prevail no matter how much opposition is placed against it, if any. You know what I mean? Because maybe that's just an illusion, or maybe that's your own, like it's truly like wherever you place your focus. You know what I mean? Because if you're trying to put I'm going to break it down into a metaphor that I really probably don't need to, but if you have a dart and a dartboard, you're not focused on all the wind and everything surrounding it. Like you are locked in, focused on getting that on the board. You know what I mean? If anything, even if you're a bad shot or whatever, like one, consistency is key. You're inevitably going to get better if you shoot that shit 50 times. But the same thing as well is like, I think what I'm learning now is giving yourself grace on if you're focused on throwing it at the board and you hit the board behind the board, you still hit near it. You still aimed and shot towards it. You know what I mean? Like that's not a loss. The loss would be never trying to do anything at all. You know what I mean? I think it can get frustrating, or it has for me, when you have such a strong expectation that you're supposed to hit the board on the first shot, when reality is you're just supposed to pick up the dart and throw it. You know what I'm saying? And when you hear these things from other people in other ways, you can still feel that essence of drive and passion and fuel that they're speaking with when they're saying what they're saying, like in the ways that I'm saying it now here. You know what I mean? And they all, like all these self-development books, all these, spiritual uplifting and attunement books, like their core components are going to be self-belief. Like that is it. That is key. That is, everything else falls under that. You know what I mean? So, and that's what a big part of this brand amplifies to the fullest, and having faith in that. You know what I mean? Because the faith and the self-belief, they go hand in hand, because this is higher than you. This whole existence is bigger than just me and just you. And it's all one, and it's all just this omnipresent, connected source that is orchestrating all of this divine essence, existence, everything. You know what I mean? So that's what this is, and that's what this all is. But that's what this is. And I truly, fully, with every fiber of my being, as much as I have those moments of self-doubt and whatnot, I truly believe with every fiber of my being that this wouldn't have fucking came through me. This wouldn't have been created through me if it wasn't going to be this foolproof, help the world, inspire people type thing. Am I a little scared and intimidated by other things that it involves? Absolutely. But what's the alternative? You know what I mean? Like, fucking shutting down and hiding and not doing it because I don't want people to see me, or I don't want to face the hard fucking frustrating parts of this. Fuck that. Like, fuck that. I've dealt with harder, and it'd be harder not to. Like, it'd be harder living with that part inside of me that would have wondered, well, what if? You know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Like, I would rather push past that and continue to do things like this instead of not. And I don't want to ramble on too much about that, because the more when I make these videos, the more I think about everything I said. And there's some things that I've thought and I'll put it in the video, but the more I speak onto it, the more I amplify and continue that thought. And so I'm able to do the same thing. And like, after I'm done taking the video, I'll think about what I said, the things that I didn't think about before I said it, and I'll think on those, and then it'll amplify into something more that I'll just bring back to the videos. And it's just this iron sharpens iron thing. She's chilling. I'm really, really happy she's doing better outside. But yeah, and it's easier now because no one knows me. Like, I say this, I say this knowing that I should enjoy this time in this era of this so much, because if everything continues in the way that I believe, then, oh, there's a hummingbird. Then this is a moment in time that I won't be able to get back again. You know what I mean? Like, it's that same thing within, like, relationships. Like, you can't meet someone for the first time twice, you know? So I can't go back into this era of making these videos and everything and having no one know me. I can't go back to that. So I'm just really, 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 really enjoying this moment and enjoying this season of just putting these out there, persevering. And then eventually, I heard Daniel Daylin talk about it, of like, entrepreneurship is like standing in the middle of a stadium and clapping for years and having everyone look at you like you're crazy, having more and more people like pay attention to you, and then eventually like one person claps, and then eventually in the span of like 5 minutes the whole stadium's clapping. So I'm just in this season of standing and still clapping whenever, no one looking, and then maybe a few people singing, and then people are singing but no one's clapping yet. And you have to have such a belief. She's gonna attack this ant. This ant don't got a chance. And just trusting that. So also, like, hearing that from him was such a big thing, and that reaffirms that, like, hopefully certain things I say support that for people like that did me. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so just continuing to amplify my growth, to help amplify others' growth, self-belief, positivity, because a big thing through this brand is, like, I think that another thing that is so special to me is because if I would have been given the fuel of everything that this brand is and fuels, man, I can only imagine where I'd be. Like, maybe I wouldn't have went through so many years of depression and bullying and survival and just low mental health and habits and thoughts, and just stuck and low. You know what I mean? Like, that's another big thing that really, really fuels me with this, because, taking control of your thoughts is such a necessary thing. Like, we're all gonna have these little thoughts because we're human. We're gonna have these little thoughts because we're feeling and human. But we have the choice to choose how we continue from what we feel and what we are given and what we initially think or thought or feel or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I say 99, I want to believe all of us have the ability to choose how we continue with what we're given. Whether that be a feeling, a thought, whatever. And choose, okay, this wasn't positive, how can I alchemize it into a positive thing? How can I alchemize this into a positive thought? Where do I want to place my focus? How do I want to live my life? How do I want to feel? And still digesting, giving ourselves the space, room to initially process that, but then process that. You know what I mean? Like, persevere and process that to a point where you can choose, okay, that's been processed. Now how do we want to pivot? How do we want to pursue what we're focused on? Do we want to continue in this self-sabotaging, low victim, low energy mindset feeling? oh, me, boo, boo, boo. Do we want to sit in this boo, boo, or do we want to rocket off into this fucking fueled, rah-rah state of being where it's like you're just inspired and just want to go at life and you feel alive, you feel like you're living, you feel passionate, you feel fueled, you feel, radiant, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want people to pursue. That's what I want to inspire people to be in, you know what I mean? That essence of life, because life is that essence, and there's so much of life, and I'm not trying to ever push away or undermine the hard parts and all the tragedy and all of, you know, all of what the world is, but that's that thing, like, you have to focus, and it's selfish, I know, but to a degree, you have to be selfish for the unselfish things to even get all of what they, I don't want to say deserve, but can get, you know what I mean? Like, it's that whole thing of, like, making more money does not make you a bad person. If you're already a good person, you're just going to be able to do more good things. You know what I'm saying? Like, will I ever be a billionaire? Probably not, because of the systems and things that I want to do that would never allow me to do that, because I wouldn't want to be that, because, like, there's so much beautiful good things you could do. You know what I mean? And if you get that, you get that. If you don't, you don't, or you will, or continue to watch, and maybe the further I'll explain things in future videos, more of what I say now will make sense then, because I'll grow, and so the ways and things that I'm saying will also evolve and grow. So just be patient with me, because I'm human, and this whole, like, documenting my thoughts and just the whole journey is really kind of new to me. And I'm not even in the stage where people are seeing it or saying anything or interacting. So there's going to be new parts of every stage of this that's going to be new to me. And I'm excited, but, like, this right now is the foundation, because no matter what people say, think, believe, try to put on, like, I have to continue doing this, so this prevails. So the good in all of this, that is all this, that is this, and I want to see that through, prevails. But yeah, so, and it's kind of cool, because a lot of these times, like, these 25 minutes have not felt like 25 minutes. Like, making these videos, even before I started making them with the intention of putting them out publicly and was just documenting them for myself, they're like these little therapy sessions, like these little mental breakthroughs in every video. And I hope that extends and radiates out onto the people that watch these videos, you know what I mean? Like, I hope they get a sense of these little nuggets of gold of inspiration and just, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna cut it there, because I'm gonna try to continue to put little clips and stuff, and I don't want to end up saying this 5 more times. But yeah, so another thing is, like, if you're watching these, like, thank you for watching. Like, you don't even gotta watch it. You can just turn it on and listen and go about your shit. You know what I mean? But I'm really excited. I'm gonna sew these tags on these clothes, and then I officially have inventory, which is pretty cool. I am very excited, and I really want this to be the year that the brand really kicks off and starts being more successful than it is, because it's already always successful in my eyes, because it's there, you know what I mean? But I really, really want this to be the year that I start seeing people be inspired and really, really resonate and radiate with it, you know what I mean? And want to wear it, want to be it, want to think it, and want to share it and support it and love it, and you know what I mean? So I'm gonna cut it off there, because
Life the way it changed mine. He said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. He said, if you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. You want me to repeat it? He said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. If you work hard on your job, you'll make a living. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune. Well,
I keep filming these with my front camera because I don't know, it's easier when I can see myself. But I'm just doing regular work at a coffee place. But I wanted to share like certain things that out of all the things that I haven't worked that I've done has compounded into something that does work. Um, so what I do is, because sometimes I add too much for the month, so I have to break it down day by day. So the main thing I do, let's see if I can flip this. Okay, so like the main thing I do is I call it a POA post-it, but it's a plan of action post-it. So it's a to-do list, but it just ties in. This is just the way that, like I said, it's compounded into being this name and everything. And that's just from continuing to do this until the name of it came up. But I really like it. I like it. POA, it clicks. Plan of action. The whole brand is curated around the thoughts and actions, doing it and practicing and everything. So getting in tune through every bit of your being, through what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're thinking. I don't want to ramble on too much, but that was the core of it. So hopefully that helps. And I do other things to like track my daily habits, sleep patterns, how I goal set monthly and weekly. And then I could also, like in the future, when people see this and actually, you know what I mean, ask. That's one part of the brand that one part of the season of the brand that I'm looking forward to experiencing is people reaching out and wanting it. You know what I mean? Like, I look at these other brands a lot of the times and it's like I start to get excited. I'm like, man, I just want that. You know what I mean? So I'm really, really looking forward, excited, and keep envisioning and feeling that season where people are seeing these and are reaching out. Yeah, what do you throw me the visual? Like, walk me through the steps of what you do to track your habits and how you grow our goal set and how you tap into or practice staying in the state of being of attunement to that vision that you are setting for yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to keep rambling for a second because hopefully there's golden nuggets you grab out of this. And I'm really enjoying this. I really, really enjoy these videos. I wouldn't do them if I didn't. Because that's another thing that I'm really amplifying to get in that attunement and that creative flow and fuel is that whole essence of doing it for yourself instead of like curating these pieces for other people. As much as that is absolutely a part of it, that's like the reward, you know what I mean? But people naturally gravitate more towards something that is outside of themselves that they can grab into. And if you're trying to curate things with the audience's perception or perspective, then you just like redigest like a mother bird to the food. You just redigest what they feed you and you give it right back to them, but it's mush, so it's not even, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited I just unboxed the sewing machine. I'm gonna watch a few videos, try to understand how to work it, and then just get some practice in. One of the things I'm most excited for is this season. And like I just said, I don't want to ramble or repeat, but I'm just really, really excited for this season where I'm in the next step of everything this is going to compound into growth-wise, you know, just like the POA list. Like, this is going to compound in I'm doing what all the other people who have done the content full-time were doing. You know what I mean? So it's inevitable, and I'm doing it authentically. I'm doing it at my own pace, my own, you know, inspired action. Just trying to navigate and feel what's right. Pausing, taking it slow, but like enjoying it. Like right now, I feel like I'm sitting in my essence. You know what I mean? Coffee shop, and then me being able to take these few days off allow me to sit more in that essence, and it's so, so important. So I'm super, super thankful. But yeah.